Denis MacShane, a former Minister for Europe, do you think that Brexit has made what's going on in the Channel worse?
Well, of course it has. You just have to look at the stats. And UKIP tried again and again at the ballot box to be elected as an MP anywhere, and the voters rejected them. Now, I'm not sure about £80 million.
Yes, if it was £80,000, I wouldn't mind. But I suppose what's a bit of taxpayers' cash between friends?
Well, some would like to see £80 million on new police in any streets of this country, because the Tories have cut the police non-stop for the last 12 years. But to go back to the point, I've been looking at the stats too. 2020, just before we imposed the sort of draconian ban on anybody coming from Europe to work here, there were 2 Albanian crossings arriving over the Channel. Now we're up to, I think you said 40,000. That's the figure. It'll slow down now with the lousy weather, the rain, the stormy seas. We've got Albanians here. I was watching one play for Chelsea on Saturday against Arsenal.
Legally.
He didn't do enough, frankly. But the big change is that we have lost access to so many workers. Britain's got this confused, disorganised labour market. The word's gone out. You come here, your family brings you here. Yeah, you cross over the Channel. We oppose that. And you'll get some work.
All right. OK, well, Belinda, I'll just come back to you on this right now, because I am at a loss to understand why we have not been able to do a bit more about what's happening at the moment. And we've given the French a lot of money. As far as I can see, if I was French, I'd be waving them through as well. Money is not going to solve this, is it? They're just laughing at us.
Well, Macron had a point when he said it was actually the UK's fault, our migrant crisis, because we apparently depend a lot on illegal labour for our black economy, which is worth about 150 to 200 billion a year. And, you know, secondly, to say that it's Brexit is ridiculous. You've got countries like Italy and Greece suffering enormously from a migrant crisis, and they haven't exited the EU. This is a sign of the times. There are many countries suffering from this. They need to secure their borders. The Schengen zone in the EU allows migrants to land in Italy, and Europe's open to them to travel and have a green pass to get to the richer countries. So they need to secure borders more in between the countries of the EU. And the Dublin regulation, which a lot of Remainers cite as the one thing we left, was completely unworkable. Belgium got taken to court for trying to use the Dublin regulation and deport asylum seekers back to Greece. It was against their human rights.
On that, because actually, Denis, I'll throw it back to you. Some people would say that it's not Brexit that's to blame in this, it's the Remoaners, because they've not allowed us to actually do anything. We've been trying to deport people. It's all these Remoaners who were saying, no, you can't send people off to Rwanda. All these people are saying, care for Calais and all of this lot that throw their arms around the world and lobby people to plonk them in 4-star hotels, you know, probably because they want to secure more votes for your former party, Denis, dare I say it.
Patrick, your hero, Belinda's hero, the one and only, the great Boris Johnson's been in charge for 3 years, followed by Liz Truss, preceded by Theresa May, as sinners of the world as the sinners of nowhere. The Brexit...
Theresa May was useless.
She was the Home Secretary. She was useless. Boris was useless. He was a liar and was useless. And Liz, well, we saw what happened to moral Liz. Let's see if Rishi does anything better. But
come on, it's not Brexit blocking, is my point. It's people like you, Denis.
Let's go back to a serious point that was being made. I think Belinda was making that point. Leaving the European Convention on Human Rights, the Council of Europe, the only other country that's done that recently is Putin. We really want to be lined up.
But we're not. The only people saying that we're like that is you drawing that ridiculous comparison.
Well, no, I'm sorry.
But no one. It doesn't make us like him, does it? You know, it's not.
Hold a second. No other. It was set up by Winston Churchill, and some of us are proud of Winston Churchill winning the war and what he did to rebuild Britain's global status after 1950 by embracing Europe. And he set the Council of Europe up and the European Convention of Human Rights up. And yes, it is a pain in the arse for all the Tin Pot dictators who want to deport anybody they don't like instantly. Now, I think you can speed it up.
It's not anyone that we don't like. It's people overtly coming here to get involved in dealing cocaine and cannabis and goodness knows what. Dennis, I think you know that,
Dennis. The cannabis is smoked by journalists and the cocaine is smoked by hedge fund dealers. Now, if they stop doing that, we legalise cannabis, probably we stop. But,
I think this would be a very different... I'll tell you what, this would be a very different show if I'd had a joint before it. Belinda...
Can I just remind you what you did on Friday? You interviewed a very interesting guy from Ethiopia in Datchet who arrived in 2015, Belinda, over the channel.
Okay.
And he's waited ever since
Well, he said
the
he
case
had,
to
yeah.
be dealt with. That is not anybody's fault except Theresa May's, Priti Patel's.
Right.
Let's see if Suella Braverman.
Okay.
The
Now,
European
Belinda, just quickly,
Convention is
just
absolutely to blame
all right.
and not fit for purpose right now. Article 3 prohibits sending anyone back to a country that has degrading treatment. So you can't even send people back to Greece because the illegal migrants say, oh, it's a poorer country and we're not treated. The Dublin regulation
Belinda,
doesn't
just
work.
quickly, I get that point.